If you're a houseplant parent, you know the absolute heartbreak of walking up to your prized Monstera or Califea only to find the leaves discolored, damaged, and looking like all the life has just been sucked right out of them. It's devastating, right? It feels like a true betrayal by Mother Nature. And if you're suddenly dealing with weird silvery patches and tiny black specks on your leaves, well, we need to talk about thrips. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we aren't just identifying a bug, we are launching a definitive tactical briefing to completely eradicate one of the most stubborn and relentless pests in the entire houseplant world. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our mission briefing for today. We're gonna cover number 1, know your enemy. Number 2, how thrips enter. Number 3, the 4-step battle plan. And finally, number 4, preventing future attacks. Let's get started.
Section 1. Know your enemy. Identifying the biological threat.
Okay, so thrips are tiny, slender insects. But what makes them so devastating are their rasping, sucking mouth parts. They don't just take a clean bite out of a leaf. Actually, a clean bite would be way too nice. They literally slash and scrape open the plant cells to slurp up the contents inside. It is a visceral, incredibly insidious way of feeding. And this violent slashing action, that's exactly what causes that heartbreaking, shimmery damage you see on your leaves. They are quite literally scraping the life out of your plant cell by cell.
Now, what's really interesting here is that you have to know exactly what you're hunting for, because the enemy looks totally different depending on its life stage. Adult thrips are incredibly small, just 1 to 2 millimeters long. They're usually black or dark brown, and man, they are fast. They can easily fly or even jump right off the leaf when you disturb them. On the flip side, we have the larvae. These guys are even smaller, pale white or yellowish, and they look like tiny little worms actively feeding right inside those damaged areas. You absolutely need to be looking out for both.
So you might be wondering, why are thrips so incredibly hard to get rid of? Well, it all comes down to their highly evasive life cycle. They are absolute masters of hiding. The adult females literally lay their eggs directly inside the plant tissue itself. That means you can't just wipe them away with a paper towel. The larvae hatch and feed on the leaves, but here is the real kicker. When it's time to pupate and transform into adults, they drop off the leaf and burrow down into the soil. Down there in the dirt, they are completely shielded from whatever topical sprays you're putting on the leaves. They emerge as adults, fly back up to the foliage, and the whole nightmare starts all over again. Because they're so microscopic, you're usually going to spot the damage long before you spot the actual bug. Here are the diagnostic signs of a thrips breach. First, look for that silvery leaf damage with a weird metallic sheen. Second, and this is a major diagnostic clue, so pay attention, look for tiny black specks inside those silvery patches. That is their frass, which, is just a polite word for bug droppings. You might also spot the visible, fast-moving insects themselves if you look closely enough. And finally, check your plant's new growth. If the new leaves are emerging deformed, twisted, or heavily scarred, thrips are very likely feasting on those tender areas.
Section 2. How thrips enter. Breaching the defenses.
So how are they getting in? There are 4 main infiltration routes, but I really want to stress the first one: infested new nursery plants. Bringing home a compromised, unquarantined new plant is the absolute #1 culprit for a breach. You go to a garden center, fall in love with a gorgeous plant, bring it home, and bam, you've unknowingly released a Trojan horse right into your collection. But that's not the only way. They can also cruise right in through open windows and doors, easily slipping through normal window screens. They can ride in on fresh-cut garden flowers, or, believe it or not, they can even hitchhike indoors on your own clothing after you've been working outside in the garden. And that brings us to a frequently asked question we see practically all the time. Can thrips actually fly inside my house? The answer is a very firm yes. Now, they aren't exactly fighter jets. They're actually considered quite weak flyers. But they travel super easily by just catching a ride on the indoor air currents flowing through your home. This means the risk of rapid plant-to-plant spread all the way across your living room is massive. All right, let's move on to Section 3, the 4-step battle plan, executing the counterattack. Before we break down the specific tactical steps, I need you to remember this. Consistency is everything. You must be relentless. This is absolutely not a one-and-done spray situation. Because of that wildly evasive life cycle we talked about earlier, persistence is the key to winning this war. If you spray once and then forget about it, I promise you they will come right back from the soil. You are going to have to outlast them. Okay, here is the high-level battle plan. Step 1, isolate immediately. Step 2, manual removal and rinsing.
Step 3, treat the foliage. And Step 4, treat the soil. So the crucial point is right there at Step 1. Isolating the plant immediately is the critical first move to halt the invasion. You must move that infected plant, and honestly, any plants physically touching it, far, far away from your main collection before you do a single other thing.
Now let's detail the physical removal phase in Step 2. Once your plant is isolated, take it straight to the shower or the kitchen sink. You want to use a strong jet of lukewarm water to physically blast and dislodge as many adults and larvae as you possibly can. Make sure you target the undersides of the leaves and all that twisted new growth where they love to hide out. And if a leaf is heavily damaged, don't even hesitate. Prune it off immediately, seal it in a plastic bag, and get it out of your house entirely.
Moving on to Steps 3 and 4. This brilliantly illustrates the absolute necessity of fighting a two-front war. On the foliage front, you need to spray the leaves with insecticidal soap or a spinoside product every 3 to 5 days to kill the feeding adults and larvae on contact. Spinoside is highly, highly effective for this. But remember that tricky pupating stage? Right. For the soil front, you have to destroy the pupae. You can use systemic granules applied directly to the dirt. The roots absorb this stuff, turning the plant tissue itself into a poisonous defense. Or, if you want a natural root, you can use beneficial nematodes, specifically Steinernema feltii. These are literally microscopic hunting worms you pour into the soil to seek out and destroy the Thrips pupae. Whatever you choose, you must treat the leaves and the soil simultaneously. It's like a giant puzzle, and you need both pieces to win.
Finally, Section 4, preventing future attacks. Fortifying the base. Once you've won the battle, here is your standard prevention protocol to make sure they never come back. First, quarantine all new plants for at least 1 month. When you buy a plant, keep it in a separate room for 30 days. No exceptions. Second, monitor your collection with blue or yellow sticky traps. Adult thrips are super attracted to these specific colors, so a trap acts as a fantastic early warning system before an infestation explodes. Third, routinely wipe down your plant leaves with a damp cloth. It removes any potential eggs and honestly just keeps the foliage looking healthy and dust-free.
As part of your defense strategy, you also need to be extra vigilant with your high-risk VIP plants. I'm talking about monsteras, especially the deliciosa, philodendrons, alocasias, calatheas, and thuriums, and your fiddle-leaf figs. Thrips heavily, heavily favor the tender, juicy new growth of these specific, often very expensive species. Check them twice as often as your other plants, for sure.
Well, the battle plan is set. Are you ready to be relentless and take back your urban jungle? Breaking the life cycle through a multi-pronged attack on both the leaves and the soil is the ultimate and frankly the only solution to this problem. So as we wrap up this explainer, I have a provocative question to leave you with. How closely have you looked at the undersides of your favorite plant's leaves today? Go grab a flashlight and inspect your collection right now, because in the war against thrips, your own early detection is without a doubt the greatest weapon you have. Good luck out there.